I'm just kind of wondering right now, since it is going to be on Panther, Anas playing the fill on one side, and then you got his counterpart on KF7 in Cal Gamer. And typically it's the capture the flags, the hardpoint differentials. You go from maybe using your assault for an infiltrator just to get that extra speed boost to run the flags and so on and so forth. So just interested to see as we kind of get this one underway, which one of those players will try to throw a wrench in the mix, different strategy of sorts, or will it kind of be business as usual and take those tricks out underneath your sleeve as the tournament goes on?
That's the big question as the players now gear up. No battle bus this time around. Straight in to capture the flag. That little panther, well, he's not little, it's a big panther. Center of the map is the elevated location we're talking about in the mid map, the statue, which kind of gives you a good vision of your opponent's spawn points and also their flag. So that's going to be the prime location that these players are going to fight for. And starting off, they're going directly for it.
Yep, KC putting a lot of focus on over towards that statue, the different elevation. Even Anas trying to sneak back behind it, as it does look like KF7 putting a focal point in towards the middle, the other side of the map where Malibuca is just kind of anchoring by himself. And as I was thinking, yes, it is going to start off very, very slow. Neither one of these teams is wanting to make a mistake early, which would open up a huge opportunity here on Capture the Flag.
It's all about that initial elimination, that opportunity to continue pushing on forwards. As Malibuca continues to anchor and just kind of holds off until his marksman connects a shot here.
This is something I thought we'd see more in the playoff stages. I knew I was going to see $1 million on the line. You know, you don't want to make any mistakes. And sometimes running around, you give away those audio cues, the visuals that easily be seen. You just kind of want to minimize that movement and the information that you're giving up as Merstash strikes first for KC. A minute off the clock, Takata. And we only have one elimination so far.
Only one elim. Pure passive play style from both teams here. It's going to be Kiri who got that initial elim. As now the push comes through. Shield bubbles as well. Swizzy is going to get aggressed on. Gets eliminated. Merstash has already been cracked, so he needs to connect that snipe shot, but unable to do so. He goes down as well. And Ass dropped to just 1 HP as Malibuca is going to have to hold off here.
Yeah, great plays by KF7. Quickly reacting to that first player that got eliminated off of their team, actually. And now they've pushed up, but they're still kind of stuck in this position where they need another round of eliminations. KC got up just the nick of time. You see the spread in the minimap, and that comes with fresh utility as well for everybody but maybe Anas.
They've regrouped back by their flag, but the good news for KS7 is they're closer now than they were before. All it's going to take is one more good push, and they could potentially pick up the flag here. And Nas has already been cracked, but quickly enough on the opposing end. Malibuca connects some good shots, takes Cody down. As now the push comes through, Malibuca gets another elimination as they continue to hold on.
It's just so hard to push through that. They got 3 eliminations. They knew one more was still around. They finally take them down, clear their side of the map of every member of KS7 before they move up. And back to where they started initially on that 50-yard line, which is the elevated statue of that Panther. Nas is going to go down, but it's almost a blessing in disguise because now he's going to spawn up full health and get more utility to use.
Yeah, once again, back in the elevation, the mid-map. Neither team with an advantage in terms of how much they've pushed up. Merstash is going to take out Kyle Gamer. As now Cody is kind of playing right-hand peek angles, but Salva is going to get cracked by Merstash. As now this could be an opportunity to push, but as Swizzy's gone down, they're going to have to wait it out once again. Kyrie, though. Kiri, apologies, gets taken out.
And Cody knows where he's at, but they also know exactly where Cody is at. They have to be very, very careful. You see him trying to minimize his movement. Merstash gets taken down. A little opportunity there, but Malibuca fresh on the flag. He's going to anchor back. You see the full split from KC. Even with them being down a man with Merstash getting eliminated there for that few seconds, KS7 hasn't really been able to step up and take any of the position on the map other than a few inches towards statue.
Yeah, that initial engagement from KS7, they were successful in picking up those first elims, but after that, it was just kind of a reset right back to the statue, center of the map. Kiri here is looking for an angle. Swizzy's trying to see what he can do, but the footsteps were heard. Not enough crouching. Kiri gets cracked. The pressure is on him now as Swizzy has the option to drop below, but he's going to actually support Merstash. He knows Kiri's down there. He hits the initial shot, now just one away from securing that elimination, but instead, they're going to decide it's time to go for the flag.
Yeah, they knew he was weak, so whether they got the elimination or not, they said, hey, we could extend, worry about him later. Mustache bringing that flag all the way out and even relaying it up. He knows how important this marksman is going to be, and they have them trapped. They know they're going to go behind enemy lines towards the backside. That's the only way to stop Anas at this stage, and even Malabuka's turtling back. This should be a successful flag capture for Karmine, but no! It was stopped short!
Oh. Can they finish it off, though? Merstash hits another shot. It's Kiri who's close by the flag. They have not captured it yet, as they are just holding off. Another shot connects by Merstash, but he's going to go down. Cody now, it's all up to him.
A late second cluster over the top. Stop short. KC wondering what just happened. How did they fall so short? 5 seconds left. Neither team is going to be able to answer back to Kyrie's flag capture late in the half. That is a huge moment right there for KS7.
In the last moment of the match, did my eyes just see that correctly, Jacob? A last moment cap.
That cluster over the top right here. It actually tags onto him. He stutters. Look at Kiri right there. He just slides right in, gets the return and the counter cap. That is upset in the making for KS7.
What a strong way to start it off. 5 more minutes now left up on the second round of CTF. KC now gonna have to lock in.
Because now they need to answer back not 1, but 2 flag captures. One of them has to be at minimum here in the second half to bring us to overtime. But since KS7 did score first, if this does go to overtime and it ends up 0-0, they will be the winners of this map number 1. As Kiri staying back, the tables have turned. His chance to play defense, and he finds Swizzy Lack and takes him down. Merstash is next, back to back. On both ends of it, the defense and the offense making plays.
Not too much aggressive from KS7, but when they play aggressive, they are executing it almost flawlessly. As now, Cal Gamer gonna pop some util, throw some EMPs, do what he can to continue on with this push. Nice little elimination as now they can continue moving on forwards. But like you said, Jacob, the important part to consider here is they're going to need 2 flag captures. 1 is not going to be enough to take over that tiebreaker if they do get to overtime. Kiri goes down. Anas now with the flag. This is exactly what they need.
Yeah, and you got Malabuka there to kind of help relay and get some of that tension off you, cutting off the middle. That's Cal Gamer who gets spotted out, and he's at least there intimidating him. Even though he has to push up and stop Anas from getting his flag capture, he can't without risking going down overall. But it was, I think, another capture of a flag from KS7. They did pull it out, so it's going to be a momentary stalemate between these two teams.
Yeah, it's a difficult position to be in here. Anas does not have a lot of options yet. It's all up to his team to kind of open up that path for him to continue pushing. But at the same time, we've got Cody here, who also has the flag. So it's once again kind of that stalemate. Both teams with the flag in hand. And it's just going to come down to the battle. But the good news for KS7 is they don't have any pressure. They've already captured 1, so they don't have to play extra aggressive.
Yeah, stalemate here, wasting time off the clock. Hey, that's a win scenario for them. But it is going to be 3 players pushing up versus 3. KC having majority of the position on the map for now, but it might cost them as Merstash gets taken down. A little bit of a mismatch now on the play, but nobody's really in position for KS7 to push up. They still have multiple members of KC to worry about on the backside.
Cody continuing to play the rock here. Swizzy's getting closer and closer. He does have Kyle to cover him. But Anas is in a similar situation, just trying to stay up as long as possible while his teammates play aggressive and look for the hunt. But Cody's doing a great job of just not putting himself into danger.
Going down, I think KC just trying to kind of peek up, get some early damage onto anybody that can, and there's the open opportunity with Cal Gamer going down, but it's instantly traded out with Malabuka falling, but KC still figuring out a way to keep the wheels turning. Salva's keeping it in their favor, but eventually tough times are ahead. Merstash trying to go in, get the elimination. Would have been huge because an instant flag capture as well, but he's cut mere inches short.
1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock now. KC in kind of desperate need to at least tie it up here. They have a little bit of time to breathe, but only a few more solid pushes.
From almost missing out on your spot at the Esports World Cup to leading in map number 1 against Karmine Corp, who is a favorite in this series over their competition. With 1 minute and 15 seconds left, all they need to do is keep this one stalemated, keep the flag out, and it's going to be up to KC. Remember, it's 2 different flag captures they do need to get, one here in regulation and maybe one more in overtime.
Aggression comes through. Kiwi with an elim. Swizzy Mally with one as well. Cody finishes Swizzy off, though, as Anas just kind of hunts from the back end, and it looks like they were able to return the flag, allowing Anas to get a quick capture. Now tied it up 1-1, but Merstash goes down, and it looks like the push from KS7 might come through.
Hey, there's 40 seconds left. There is enough time from run to coast on this map. Dynamite going over the top. Nas barely dodges that one due to his placement on the wall. He knows Cal Gamer is there. He knows another player in Salva is there. But can you be able to hold on? It's going to be the first trade. Cody is trying to push through. He's trying to draw attention from the members of KC to try to deal with him, which would open up the opportunity elsewhere.
Nos finishing off. Nice little elim. His call as well is going to go down. Flag is returned to their base. Elimination secured with only 10 seconds left, though. I don't think there's enough time for either team to get a full flag capture here. It looks like we might be heading to overtime, Jacob.
Yep, so Karmine will answer the call. Late in the second half, they score the flag tying capture, which is forcing us into overtime. But if this one does end 0-0 in overtime, KS7 will get the win for the 5 minutes of overtime. It's up to KC to try to get that flag capture, or if KS7 wants to win it by force, they can get the capture themselves.
And that's kind of the decision now that's forced onto KS7, knowing that they got that initial flag capture and they will win a 0-0. They kind of want to force the non-risky play style here. But on the other end, KC, they're forced to find at least one flag capture to close it out. So we could see a bit more aggression come through from them.
Early game beams from both of these teams. Cody and Swizzy, respective players, just getting shielded, but most of those damage is going to go onto KC until Merstash gets that elimination onto Cal. But Malibuka and Anas both will go down. Swizzy trying to even things up, so it is going to be a trade 2 for 2. Make it 3 for 3 as Merstash keeps things rolling for KC. Nobody really having the opening that they wanted just yet to give them the confidence or the green light to continue moving forward.
Malibuka making sure they don't hear his footsteps, but as I speak, quick enough, he does cause some. Cody's going to know Malibuka's close by now. Good news is Malibuka with full HP has that confidence. Swizzy close by as well. This could be a free elimination onto Cody. Is going to get it, but Call with the quick flank is going to pick up the flag. Issue is his whole team basically has been taken out. But just like that, they're going to respawn back in. Swizzy's going to pick up the flag as well. And we have another stalemate.
Yep, flag for flag right now, but Cal did go down. So did Kyrie. Malibuka, Merstash, the dynamic duo, get credit for both of those eliminations. Cody's doing to do what he can, but Swizzy is continuously running this flag in. This could be the go-ahead flag capture here in overtime, barring any miracles, which are not to come. Karmine Corp are going to go ahead and win map number 1 after trailing very, very early on.
Look, I'm getting a little bit of flashbacks, Jacob, to the XSET versus Dragons match. We thought KC might have had a clear lead going into this match, but it was a close call. Overtime and capture the flag map 1, finishing it off in the last moments of the match. They're looking relaxed. They're looking stress-free, but I don't think this is going to be a clean sweep.
No, I don't think so as well. This one is more down to the wire than some of the other matches that we've seen so far. They even went for a flag grab at the end of the second half. They tried it again in overtime. Just unfortunately enough, the numbers weren't there for KS7. You can kind of give Cal Gamer credit. He was the one who tried to get that flag capture out. Just unfortunately enough, the reinforcements weren't there. KC crashed at the perfect time and counter-capped right on him.
Great job to close it out. Next map will be Hardpoint. Once again on Panther. So same map going to be played out. More aggression that we'll see from these teams. And one thing is playing kind of passive strategically for capture the flag. And the other thing is just kind of all out fragging on Hardpoint and keeping that momentum, getting next Hardpoint. that kind of change reaction that you do so if you kind of have that domination like we saw from Exceed. So I'm curious to see if both of these duos are kind of on an even playing field in that sense, or if we'll see one of them just kind of take it home.
It's definitely going to be one of those things to where KC, I think we're kind of surprised early on because of that map number 1, but it's that kind of wake-up call. It's a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think that, you know, XSET faced that wake-up call against Dragons. XC did it same again against Gaming Gladiators, and I think this is another prime example of kind of you sleep on your competition just a little bit. They might not get the same practice as you, so you kind of think about that and kind of say, hey, our region is probably just the best, and there's nobody that can mess with us, and then you come into an international tournament like this and kind of get that wake-up, like, hey, maybe these guys are better than we gave them credit for, so we need to kind of tighten up.
Yeah, it's wondering kind of what's going through their minds right now. Swizzy is locked in, listening to Merstash. What's the game plan? What's happening next? He is completely locked in here.
Trying to see as we go into map number 2. You know, it wasn't as elimination heavy on that capture the flag as maybe we would have expected. You know, I did think it was going to slow down a ton, but it was slowed down more than I thought. And I think this map might be a little bit of the opposite. It is going to be hard point. You do respawn. You can kind of throw yourself at the hill more times than not and kind of set up for next. I just want to see KS7 come out with that same fire that they did early on, because remember at one point, I think it was Malibuka or Merstash with the only elimination of the game, like a minute and a half in. So I just want to see Cow Gamer and the rest of KS7 kind of take that upset potential and run with it. Start off slaying heavy, get to center of the map like you just did in the capture the flag, and try to hold on to it for an early Hill 1 lead and force KC to play comeback for the remainder of the game.
That would be interesting. The closer it is, the more intense. I look forward to those type of matches. If we have any hard points similar to what we saw with XSET and Dragons, which was a similar situation here with the upset, it was incredibly close. 4 points was the difference of that match. So we'll see if something similar does end up happening as the players focus up to get on in once again. I guess the thing you kind of think here is there's not too much you can learn from the last one being a completely different mode. If you're on the second rounds of capture the flag, the second round of hardpoint, then you can kind of start thinking what went wrong if you didn't end up taking home that original map. But being the first time they're competing against KC in an official match here on hardpoint, we'll have to see how it plays out.
And, you know, first thing to note of, you know, that roster change, you know, and Nas, even though he was the sub for their qualification to get the Esports World Cup spot, but in comes Anas, out goes Veno, some role and roster switches up. And, you know, so maybe they're just kind of getting into the feel of this new roster. It did come very, very late into those roster logs, so maybe not have as much time and confidence to practice, in which they would probably hope and had beforehand. So I think this could be a moment for them to kind of recollect themselves, realize, hey, maybe we're playing too fast for our own good, slow things down, maybe not by a large margin, but slow things down enough so we can continue to stay on the same page.
And we kick things off now. Quick shots coming in from Cal Gamer. Nice little utility used on to KC. Merstash is going to be the first one alongside Anas to take control of this hard point. But with both players being extremely low, they are going to get wiped out, and KS7 is going to take control.
Yeah, they got that early statue control. They're able to kind of move that in to take down the players in P1, but Malibuka quickly answering back with a headshot. Back-to-back eliminations with the help of Merstash. 2 down and out, but Salva just answers back. That's 3 straight eliminations. Looking for a 4-piece, but Cody, you just took it away from him. You just stopped his momentum, but that's okay because the team effort's what matters most.
With the highlight reel continuing forwards as Anas with the push is going to get a shot onto Cody, but is it going to be enough? 3v1 back to KC. This is a close one already.
Now, it definitely is. KC just trying to climb back. This could make it relatively even, maybe just 1 point down, but KS7, Salva, and everybody already positioned on the hill, but I'm not sure if they spotted out Malibuka hiding, and no, they didn't. They know he's there now. Big elimination, and he opens up. The rest of the members of KC come flooding in through the center. Swizzy is there, but Malibuca goes down. The trades are not going in favor of KC, even though they had multiple members able to help. It was the members of KS7 that hit the shots that mattered, that just flushed KC off the hill.
Kiri did a great job closing it out after his teammate got eliminated by that headshot snipe, but Malibuca is back in the game once again. Respawned on in, goes for the snipe. Shield bubble is going to block it as the push comes through. Just kind of sliding to push Cody out of the shield bubble. Not able to hit that snipe, but it looks like they might just be able to take control.
KS7 does have that spawn point back there, so they're going to get back into the fight much quicker, even with the trades. No matter what happens here. Salva just spawns up. KC knows they have it, and it's just scrap time that's left. So Malibuca is going to leave his teammate there, let him be a distraction, and they're going to rotate across the map so they can get the actual point, which is P3, and deep into the spawn as well to make sure that they have quick spawns if they do go down.
There's actually a great job by Malibuca. Are you kidding me? With another headshot snipe. This is massive, as now they do have that player advantage. Not only did they get the harder point first right as it appeared, but now they just have that much more time to breathe and potentially continue staggering their opponents.
Haven't been able to push in just yet. Salva is able to take one down. Malibuca is going to fall as well. Back-to-back eliminations. Make it 3 with Anas and Swizzy down. Every member of KC is out. And there's good amount of time on this hill that KS7 can bring it relatively close. But KC, remember, they have that quick spawn on the other side. It's only going to mean so much as Malibuca shut down in an instant, followed by Swizzy as well. Mustache trying to take that additional angle, but his result ends the same. Multiple members of KC go down and force themselves to rotate to the next hill sooner rather than later.
Already deciding, like you said, go to the next hill. They've captured the initial hill, but now the push is going to come through. This is where it matters the most. They need to hit their shots here, get those eliminations. Exactly what Salva's going to do. Snipe connected, but not enough for the elimination.
KC doing just enough to stay ahead, about 21 points. Trying to count that up even more, but a late push coming in from KS7 is not going to yield too many results. Cody just a sliver of HP, same with Anas, but he's going to end up with the victory and the siphon to keep him alive. Multiple members of KS7 getting denied entry onto the hill yet again as KC holds tough.
Huge movement from Anas to stay up there and pick up 2 quick eliminations. Kiri, though, now Cody, both going in with full HP. Will it be enough to take out the European roster here as Anas picks up another one? Cody goes down shortly after, and they are just holding on to this point.
Another big stop coming out from KC. It kind of started, what, roughly 21 points going into that hill. Now they've extended that lead even further, about 40, which is instantly shut down as KS7 have control over the next hill. A mad scramble through the middle of the map from KC. Cowcamer's getting pushed down and taken down. The numbers have switched. KC have a huge man advantage. Can they use it to try to get this hill? Because it doesn't look like it's working. KS7 is going to be able to hold tough until Swizzy has something to say about it.
KC doing a great job of recuperating that hard point. It is the 5th point, so now Kyle's going to try and figure out if he can kind of make a sneaky play, but Malibuca shutting that down quickly as he takes out Kiri. Now Cody right behind is kind of double guessing that option to push in, and shortly enough, it will go to P6.
Yeah, Kyrie knew he was weak. Unable to get that grenade far enough to get him out of position, but he still cleans up 2 eliminations back-to-back before getting shut down by Mustache and Anas. You talked about the next hill rotation on. It's going to go right back to the start. P1 where we began, so KC wastes no time making sure that their presence is known.
Nice elimination found onto Anas. Swizzy, though, is going to be the one that stepped onto the hard point first. Kiri, though, gets that quick elimination. Malibuca falls shortly after, and it looks like KS7 are going to start this one off.
Much needed here because that lead just gotten bigger and bigger these last 3 hills for Karmine Corp. Not necessarily how you start, it's how you finish. And KS7 have to start to finish a lot of these fights strong as the ring around the rosy going down. Malibuca gets one, Mustache with another. 2 members of KS7 down, which gives a good amount of hill possibility on over to Karmine Corp.
Getting closer and closer to that 200-point threshold. It is the first to 250, so they're not too far away, but this point is going to expire soon. P2 will be opening up shortly as Kiri goes down, and now all the players are kind of starting their rotation.
Yeah, they're confidently and they're consistently winning a lot of these fights, both individual and as a team for KC. KS7 slowly but surely getting the life taken away with each and every player that does go down. They get an elimination, but 2 more from KC enter in and replace the one that was lost. Salva, the same thing. Even though they do have the quick spawn on their side, it's just not enough. KC, especially Malibuka, is just lights out right now, hitting shot after shot after shot on KS7.
Terminator, he has 12 eliminations, but each one has been incredibly impactful at the perfect time, getting those elims to stagger out his opponents. Already above 200 points on the hardpoint threshold, 220 to be exact, just 30 away from taking it home.
Yeah, even though they can't win off this hill, they can sure get close, and they're going to take every single second out of it. KS7 forced to play desperate, flood in one by one, and it's causing so much disruption to their overall game plan. They're just getting taken out and pinned apart as individuals, as each member of KC has each other's back.
KS7 cannot let KC take this 3rd point first, but it looks like Swizzy's already on it. Cody now goes in, gets that elim, and they will be able to start it off, but they cannot afford to get eliminated here.
I almost got to play picture perfect from here on out. 5 seconds, that's all that's needed on the side of KC. They have him surrounded as well from the spawn point all the way to the side. Malibuka gets one. The hill is going on over to KC. They need a stop for KS7. Only a few seconds left, and that's going to be it. Karmine Corp, with a huge show out here in map number 2, are going to take a commanding lead in this series 2-0.
Great way to close out the hard point. It was a lot closer on capture the flag, but when it came to aggression, to all-out eliminations on the hard point, Karmine Corp were the victors, dominating throughout this match. It started off quite close, to be fair. They were neck to neck with KS7 as it started, but as time went on, the gap increased more and more until they closed it out without too much pressure on their shoulders.
Yeah, it was like relatively close up until like the 3rd or the 4th hill. Then it started off as a 20-point deficit, then a 40-point deficit. And Karmine was doing a good job of being one of the first teams to the hill. And it's about 60 seconds on the hill. If you could drain about 30 seconds off that clock and keep KS7 off the hill, even if you're not getting time, you're still winning. You're still getting 50% and holding them off even more. And each and every hill that they did this, you saw the lead extend further and further and further, which forced KS7 into that desperation mode, and you saw what happened. They were just kind of trickling in one by one, and that's not going to win you a game at all.
Yeah, I mean, hardpoint's very momentum based as well. Once you kind of start dominating one point, you get ahead on the next one, you kind of just get in the zone. And as long as you don't lose a tragic fight against your opponents that completely turns the tables around, you should just be able to carry that momentum forwards, which is exactly what KC did. But that's it for hardpoint for now. Unless KS7 is able to take home these next matches, we're going to go to the keeper game mode. Once again, it's that game mode where you got to pick up that key, hold it for at least 150 points, which is about 150 seconds. And that is the way to take home the win on that match. So this one is also a game mode that's full of aggression. And if anything follows the trend of this most recent match on hardpoint, then KC should be able to come out on top in theory.
Yeah, and it's been keeper, map number 3 of most of these series so far today, that we've noticed that it's been no snipe, no marksman. So I'm looking at Salvatore from KS7. He's going to have to switch it up, maybe work with Cal Gamer, who also plays that fill role for his team, figure out what they can round out that engineer and that juggernaut with. On the other side of KC, the way Mustache has been playing so far, you might not necessarily need to switch the sniper out of his hands, but to stay with the trend and prepare for those upper echelon matches where you know they're not going to have it, I do expect Mustache to switch out of the marksman and Anas to kind of fill in, as his role is that fill, switching between 2 different roles overall.
Yeah, it's always important to have a good IGL on your team alongside that coach. So we'll see kind of what prep is going in right now to this potentially last match if they're able to take it home. In the keeper game mode, it is going to be played out on Taverna Zoni, the kind of new map, new game mode. So not as much time to practice this as the previous 2 modes and previous 2 maps. So we'll see kind of how much these teams have prepared and put in the work behind the scenes leading up to today.
I gotta say though, for KS7, I'm a little impressed. I'm a little impressed from what I've seen so far. They've shown that they do have a high ceiling. It's about playing into their full potential in these moments that I think is really kind of separating them apart. They do have that firepower, especially if Salva is able to heat up. We saw triples, we saw doubles, we saw big moments of brilliance coming out from them. It's just about doing it all at the same time as a one cohesive unit, in which I do think they're falling short. Keeper is one of those modes that I feel like if anything's going to get you back into that teamwork mindset, run around as trios, protect your one person with the key, it is going to be Keeper, and it's going to be a must because you're down 2-0 to keep yourselves alive in these group stages and have a chance to qualify for first place. It starts here, it starts now, and it has to come with a backdoor sweep.
I'm excited, Jacob. I'm excited. KS7 has also been surprising me. They've been playing incredibly well. Despite hardpoint ending with a bit of a gap, it was so close to kick it off that I do think they have potential to take home the keeper map here. They were very close to taking capture the flag away, so we'll have to see if they can make it happen on this third match. If they do end up going down here, though, it will be a Karmine Corp win, so they've got to give it their all.
I'm seeing right now the overview of the map. It's been around that basement side of the map where we see teams like to hunker and bunker down. They can hold off their opponents because of the narrow passageways, the very few entrances. We got a full 3 players from KC into the same location, kind of split on the other side, but it does look like they're going to be able to run in, grab that key a little bit first and try to bring it out, but it comes at a cost. The eliminations are going to go through. Lizzie trying to protect himself in that basement, but it's instantly stopped and shut down. KS7 have a chance to take a lead here early.
Cody holding onto that key now, so he does have that movement debuff, which is going to cause him to go down.
Wow.
And Merstash somehow, with the help of Malabuka, his duo, putting in the work as he gets a little time to recuperate that HP. Kalgamer now looking for a shot, but he gets caught off guard as Malabuka does what he can to stay up with this key.
Yeah, it does look like Malabuka is going to keep the marksman class intact. Does have the dynamite as well, and he's the one racking up the scoreline for KC. This teammate Swizzy going down on the other side, quickly looks on over, but you kind of hear that communication from your team. They're winning the fight, so there's no need to make any sudden movements just yet.
Swizzy goes down. Cal again looking for more of a sneaky route. Malabuka is just around that corner. Does he know that Cal's about to show up behind him? He does not. Gets that quick elimination. Is he going to be able to pick up the key, though? He is not, as Swizzy quickly shuts him down.
That's back-to-back elims for Swizzy. Starting to heat up here for the team. KC just racking up seconds for each time it passes by. Less than 100 points to go before they win this round. And in Keeper, it's 2 rounds, first to 150 points. So even if Karmine Corp wins this one, they still have another one to go.
69, 70 points already for KC. A quite large gap, to be fair, between KC and KS7 so far, as the NOS continues to hold on to that key. KS7 is going to have to figure out something here to change up if they want to get a potential comeback. I do believe if the gap gets far enough, though, KS7 will get 2 points per second instead of just 1, depending on how much of a gap there is.
Might not come down to it. KS7 starting to show some life, and he's trying to get that key on out. Flank onto Swizzy. Not able to save his teammate, but gets the elimination. Goes back to back. A third one trickling in. That's Merstash. An unfortunate reload, though, is going to cost him play of the game so far, but the result's still the same. 2 more players from KS7 trickle in, get the elimination, and keep control of that key.
This could be their chance to make something happen. Already getting closer and closer to their opponents here, but they just cannot lose this initial engagement. Great job on taking out Malabuka. Cal goes down, but Merstash is going to be able to pick up that key. And now if he's able to get out and regroup with his squad, this should be more than enough time to continue that gap.
Yeah, great distraction by Swizzy. Not only was he allowing his teammate to get the key on out, reposition into his fresh respawn teammates in Malabuka, but it's only going to last for so long before the challenge from KS7 comes in yet again. But Malabuka is like on a world tour from coast to coast, running around the map, making sure to keep points going for Karmine Corp, and his teammates are getting eliminations along the way. And this is what I like right here, because he's also the marksman. He can go ahead and keep his distance and land some shots.
From EU to Middle East, touring the world, like you said, doing a great job of it as well. Unfortunately, does not connect that initial snipe, and it looks like Malabuka is going to go down, and NOS, though, going to help him out with that quick elim, and they continue to push themselves up. 135. It is the first to 150. Now just 10 seconds away to closing out this first round of Keeper.
They bring that key right into basement. It's going to be hard to not only stop them, but get it out as Anas trades with Kyrie. Twizzy still having the key intact, but he gets traded out. Salva's going to take him down, but instantly picked up and grabbed yet again by KC as they end the first round of map number 3.
Great way to finish it off. You can see the smiles come through. Didn't really have too much pressure at all in this Keeper match, but if you're KS7, you got to think what went wrong. Almost got dominated there. They have to change something up for this second round if they want a chance.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like it was smooth sailing through the majority of that matchup, even though there was moments where KS7 was able to chain together eliminations. They got the key underneath their control, but each and every time it was short-lived. They were only holding it for so long before they went down. A Salvage just gets flanked. He gets taken out, maybe choosing his settings right now, but that's not Malibuca's problem as he and Mustache goes back to start this game. A 17-plus point lead for KC.
Looks like
okay,
something might be going on here as the comms are coming through. Maybe a player had to change up some settings or something, so we'll see how it goes on. But so far, KC are the dominating team for this Keeper game mode. All they got to do is kind of keep that momentum going once we continue out this second round of Keeper. But yeah, I want to see what KS7 changes up, Jacob, because they got to kind of make a big change to their game plan. I don't know what exactly was going wrong. They just weren't able to get a hold of the key, whether it was Malibuca, Nas, whoever. They were just keeping hold of it, and they just couldn't get eliminated. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it just seems like both rounds actually, KC was able to kind of move in, get the key, grab it out, and they send 3 people, at least on the one side, straight into that same house just to try to laser anybody across. They have the bubbles, they have the cluster grenades, so they can kind of cause a lot of disruption very, very early on, which is what they're using to get that key out. I'm just hoping with this chance right here, KS7 can kind of breathe for a moment, realize it's not over until it's officially over. And even though you might be down 2-0, we've seen comeback before, because if they can win Keeper, we're going back-to-back Chalet maps with CTF being map 4, and then the hard point again being map number 5. Both game modes that they've shown that they can put up a fight. It's just Keeper right now is the only thing that's going to keep them alive.
And let's hope it does that. They have a little bit of time to kind of focus up here and kind of figure out what they do want to change up in the end. So hopefully they're using this time efficiently. Meanwhile, KC on the other end just kind of has to stay warm, stay locked in, not make any major mistakes. And in theory, they should be able to close it out fairly easily. But if KS7 has those tricks up their sleeve, we might see something happen.
Trying to see that, Malibuca is keeping the marksman intact, and the way they're using it, I can't bet against it, because Malibuca was the one that laced up his shoes and was running a marathon in the middle of the game from map to map, coast to coast, just keeping the lead alive and just extended even further for KC. And he was doing it in a way to where even when he was locked down in a position, he just kind of sat as far back as possible. And he's so dangerous with that sniper rifle that he's at least hitting body shots, if not headshots, just making sure that he stays alive. And then when he does end up in that tight spot, you have Mustache, you have Swizz, you have a Nas that crash out of nowhere. So I just need to see almost a brand new KS7, one that's winning every fight, consistently winning fight, and just showing the confidence that they know they can have here in the Esports World Cup.
I know they can have it too, and I hope that we're going to be able to see that here in their last chance, last opportunity to overthrow KC. But this isn't their last chance in the whole tournament. If they do end up going down, this is a double elimination bracket, so they will have another shot at it. It looks like the players are loading in now, though. The pre-game stretches, always a good sign, getting themselves ready for this final round.
Hopefully that reset doesn't harm too much. It's like a little bit of a blessing for KS7. You know what I mean? They weren't necessarily winning right out of the gates. It was almost instantly the key was grabbed by Karmine Corp. But now you can kind of reset, use a lot of that time to kind of focus up, figure out what went wrong and how to capitalize on it. Mirrored strategies yet again going out. Dynamite to try to cut him short, and a quick switch up in rotation coming out from KC that was read like a book.
Looks like it's working perfectly as they take out Mustache. Malibuca falls shortly after. Salva now going to be the first ones to pick up that key as they disengage and try and stay up.
They read that one perfectly. And that's why I say you got to be able to answer back very, very quickly. Already a 10-second and growing lead as Malibuca gets spotted out. Mustache trying to crash, but he gets found out as well. 2 quick eliminations. Looking like a third is a possibility with Swizzy dropped down to low HP. Malibuca, fresh off the respawn, is able to get the man advantage in their favor.
Ed hunting as he looks for another one. Does not connect, though. Gonna reload that sniper rifle as Kuti is doing a great job here. Already almost 40 points on the board. This is huge for the start of Keeper. And I don't think they even... I mean, they know where he is, but they're significantly far away. And Nas Mustache now finally getting time for the push. Gonna take him out. Malibuca gets cracked, though. Salva now with that elimination as Mustache is just trying to stay up.
Buying some more time. With the clinger he threw towards the outside. They have to kind of stagger themselves, make sure they don't take too much damage. Swizzy takes down Salva and CalGamer as they try to push forward by themselves. Ill-advised, some will say, but Cody's just watching around. He's trying to sneak, get a flank, but while that's happening, KC is just rotating this further and further away of that sneaky play.
Yeah, they're getting staggered as well. Kiri finds the sneaky play, but he gets taken out by Mustache shortly after. Mustache does go down by CalGamer, though, and it looks like they're going to pick up the key once again. Malibuca looking at the wrong side of the map here as he gets taken out from the back.
CalGamer finds another one. Still has that EMP to break any shields if they do try to push in, but he finds Malibuca instead. Gets that elimination. Looks like Kyrie was able to get one as well, but Cody goes down. Might be a blessing, though, because he's going to spawn up full HP, full shield, and with some extra utility to use on this next defense.
Nice shield probably comes in for the push from Swizzy. Gets some nice connections, but nothing for an elimination yet. As Swizzy picks up 2, and Nos now continuing to help out. Swizzy going to pick up the key once again. And now they're going to continue closing that gap that KS7 currently has.
He's not forcing any situation. Quickly trickles down. Saw his teammates spawn up, get in across the map. They have that little bit of control. So even though that side of the map might be a little bit more advantageous, they know everybody's going to be moving in, trying to get eliminations. As KS7 does find 3 straight eliminations, Mustache being the only one from KC that did find any success there on this next push. But they need to find even more. They're doing a good job on the side of KC of catching up, and they're catching up quick.
Swizzy now continuing with his route around the universe as Salva picks up a Nos. Swizzy's still kind of alone up there, making use of that key. About to tie up on KS7, both at 76 now, as the lead goes to Karmine Corp. Elimination onto Salva as well, as they're going to continue holding on to that lead.
Swizzy already chained together 2, almost gets the 3rd, but he gets shut down. Malibuca trying to even the tides, doing what he can, quickly making that rotation on over, trying to get a sandwich going along with Mustache, but not able to find that success. But they still keep the key in their inventory, and Malibuca is once again trying to run it from coast to coast, buy some time for his teammates to spawn up, and there's only so much time you can buy as a solo.
Kiri now trying to get that lead back, as they're once again, and I'd say the most popular part of this map, which is kind of that basement area. You have the most right angles and potential for holding on to that key. But it looks like with the aggression coming through from KC now, Kiri only has a millisecond left to stay up.
Sometimes it's about that 1 to 2 seconds. Sometimes when you're wondering if things are going wrong from map to map, sometimes all it is just buy 2 more seconds. Even if you're going to get eliminated, that 2 seconds could be the difference maker of spawning up, getting back on the map just in the nick of time as Malibuca goes headhunting, finds another one onto Salvo, and then he's just continuously rotating this key around. And the information he's getting is Swizzy just spawned up in the center of the map. Malibuca and KC, as long as they know where these spawns at, they know exactly where the players are going to crash in from.
Malibuca goes down, though. Now Swizzy, it's all up to him. Can he make use of those shots? Salva, though, gonna close it out. Now, once again, KS7 pushing on up. This could be their chance.
Waiting for that health to regenerate back. Sees them all pushing up. Swizzy on the other side of the bubble shield. Salvo choosing to give it up. EMP over the top. Swizzy's going to connect with some damage, which is going to allow him to clean that one up easy. Even with a couple of his teammates going down, they quickly move in, clean that one up, and once again get the key under their control. Less than 20 seconds left for KC in this map for them to win.
Good news is the timer ran out. They were in the lead, so they didn't even have to make it to 150 points. They were able to close out the second round of Keeper and take home this match. Capture the flag was quite close, but once we got the hard point, the domination from KC came through, and they carried that momentum forwards to keeper to ultimately close out.
Yeah, even